and welcome to another video demonstration. What I'm going to do today is just give you a really quick introduction to Makara. Makara was purchased by Red Hat last year, at the end of last year, and I had a lot of questions from people like, what is it and what do you use it for? And it's actually pretty cool, so I wanted to share it with you. It's not going to be a super in-depth, deep technical dive into what you can do, just kind of a high-level overview, and then I'll do some additional recordings later to get into like the performance and tests and different things that you can do with it. So let's get started. So first thing you have to do is go to the customer support portal, and in the customer support portal you will see like Try Makara up at the top. So you can go there, sign up. They'll send your user ID and password to your email address, and then you'll come here and log in. So right now I am logged in. It'll bring you to a welcome page that'll say, okay, we've got basically a platform as a service environment. You can go in now, create your server infrastructure, choose your databases, your web servers, add your applications, and off you go. So we're going to try something. I'm going to go in, show you the administrative screens, create a cluster, add a server to the cluster. So we'll have a cluster of 2 servers. Then we'll go out and test it. The servers that you deploy in Makara actually do have a test application in them, so you can kind of see it working. But I also wanted to show how we would install our own and get that working as well. So we'll see how it goes. After that, you can check the performance. There's some really good performance tooling as well as monitoring tooling here. So I want to show you that really quick, and that'll probably be enough for this one. Okay, so let's start with admin. So in the admin screen, you'll see the first thing you'll want to do is add a cloud. So right now you'll see that I already have a test cloud added, but you'd simply choose Add Cloud, type in the cloud name, which is just a representation of what it will look like in the screen. So choose your cloud provider, so you will have to have a relationship with a cloud provider. You could also use Red Hat Delta Cloud. That might be a little easier initially. Then you'll provide your access key and secret access key. So if you're, for example, in my case, I'm using EC2. So I would go to my EC2 account and get those authentication services. And so that connects me to EC2, allowing everything that I do in Makara to be, of course, executing against the cloud provider that I utilize. So in my case, it's EC2, but it could be anything. When you sign up, you'll notice it'll ask you your cloud provider, and there's a whole list of them. So back to clouds, I already have one. I called it the JBoss Test Cloud. Then I'm going to go ahead and you'll also see there's users here, so you can create multiple users. I just have myself because this is just a trial environment. So let's go to clusters. So what we want to do is create a cluster of JBoss servers or a cluster of application servers to server applications. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Add Cluster. And it's going to ask me for a cluster name, where I want to put it, what location. I have EBS volumes, so I almost always choose US East because that's where they happen to be, but for this it's not necessary. How many nodes you want? I'm going to just choose 1 because then I'm going to show you how to add a node after this. The memory per node, admin password. Type that in. Hopefully I'll get it right. Meaning that they'll be the same. And I'll go ahead and say I want to load balance them, meaning I want to create a load balancer as well. So I choose Save, and you'll notice here it'll say it's going to create my cluster, and then I can go to the event screen and kind of see how that works, which I really like. So you can click on events, and what it'll do is it'll show you your tasks in progress. So you could sit and wait and watch them. It'll show the elapsed time as it is updated, and then when the tasks are completed, you'll see these statuses will turn, of course, or change to completed. So creating the cluster, the first node has been created. Now it's building the cluster. Soon you'll see it build the load balancer, and then both tasks will be done. So as you can see, our tasks are completed at this point. And so let's go ahead and take a look. So there's our cluster. It has a single node. We can go in, change the amount of memory we want associated with it. As you can see, we have the load balancer address as well as the IP address, so we can access it. Let's go and take a look at our servers. So I've selected servers, and in order to see the servers that you have, you'll have to click on the cluster. So right now I have one server, and it shows me the resource allocation and any activity that has been created or is occurring on those systems. So what I want to do now is go ahead and you'll see if I scroll over, there's a button called Add Server. So I'm going to go ahead and add another server to the cluster. And I can again go back over to Events, and it'll give me kind of a status as to how things are progressing. So it'll just take a few seconds in order for that to occur, in order for the clusters to be created. And when that's done, we'll go in and build our applications. So now our cluster has a new node that we have added, so let's go and take a look at that. We'll select clusters again. And again, remember, inside of our cluster, we will have a set of servers. Inside of this, you'll now see that second cluster member show up. It'll take just a few seconds, since that cluster member just joined, for the resources and activities to show up, but it will definitely be there. You'll now be able to see that we have two different IP addresses, right? Both part of the JBoss Test Cloud, both part of Cluster 1. And there is the information for the resources, and of course not much activity yet, as I just added it to the cluster. So now we've got our cluster created, we've got several servers in the cluster. Now what we want to do is take a look at the applications. So again, select your test cloud. You'll see that a application has actually already been installed. So this is kind of nice of Makara. They've created a demo application, so you can go in and take a look at it. I'm going to go to servers again and just hit one of these servers so we can see what that demo application looks like. So you'll see here, this is an auto insurance tracker. All right, so I can go in, display all the agents, go home, find an owner, go home, add an owner, right, etc.